Now, okay. Hello. Welcome to Onision Live, where we get to see the most hated banana on the internet. I did my hair just for you guys, just so you know. I sprayed it, and then I brushed it, and then I straightened it, and then in the mirror. And now I look like this, and I'm very happy about that. Let's go ahead and check out the audio. It's not even playing yet. You guys don't even know I'm talking. I'm literally talking many, many seconds before you even hear what I say. So let's just go ahead and wait for this feed to actually update while we play really awesome music. I'm not gonna play any music. I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm lying. No, I'm actually not lying. Ha! See, you thought I was lying, but I'm not actually lying. Cause check this out. I can take two at the same time. Ah! 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 Okay, that was a good warm-up exercise. So let's go ahead and start taking critical questions. Okay, so what do we got here? This is this is the opportunity that a lot of people say I never give them because it helps them make people believe that I'm completely detached from society and that I don't talk to anyone ever, and that I'm just this guy who's the Antichrist Hitler. So let's go ahead and he'll just lie or not answer the real questions. That's what someone says. Really? Let's test your theory. Someone said, "Come." Oh, it's this guy. This hater that's been harassing me for some time. Hurry up and get on your bullshit so I can make fun of you. You know, I get what you're doing. I see what you're doing there. You're like, I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have real friends. I don't have a life. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit on this guy's page, who I don't like. I don't like this guy at all. And I'm gonna say mean things to him. Why? Because, it makes me feel better about myself. So that seems like a productive use of my time, rather than contributing in some way, making people laugh or inventing something or working at Burger King. That last one, maybe not so much. Working at Taco Bell. I'm gonna say, that I'm a contributive member of society by sitting on this guy's page, hating on him. That's what I do. All right. Let's see what other people have to say. Oh, Greg, you're such a good dancer, question mark. How do I even respond to that? What should I do? An arrogant person who is overconfident, always look down on people, took credit for other people's work, and overexploit people who work for. What are you talking about? I don't know what you should do about a person like that. I would probably distance myself from them. Wait, do you have to associate with them? That's scary. People like that are really, really disturbing. This is the part where you guys ask me questions. Look, this is what I'm saying. I have Jesus, balls of Christ, loads, sexy her. It's not like I'm hiding any questions here. You guys literally aren't asking them. See, there's that guy who is all mean. Could I be more transparent right now? I'm literally showing you the questions I'm being asked. There's no hiding from any of this. Okay, let's go and refresh. Oh, he's trying to hide the truth. Do you realize that you chose how you will experience each situation? Haters can't. What are you talking about? I feel like I should have a camera on me and a camera on the comments. This would actually be more productive if I actually did this from my office because I have two monitors and everything. I can whatever. I should probably sit up or do this. Boom, boom, boom. Gotta straighten that hair. Now it looks perfect. Okay, so what are my opinions on the Ku Klux Klan? I think any group dedicated to racism or hatred or whatever is a big waste of time. The puppies are outside. Someone asked that. Dude, how come you just read positive comments? How about you just read the positive comments and have fun? Well, because, the reason I don't want to read just the positive comments is because there's these people out there. And, I want to give them less fuel for their fire. But, it probably won't work because they're not going to pay attention to, what reality is. They're going to pay attention to what they want reality to be. So, I don't know. I'm just, there are some reasonable people out there who have very negative feelings about me. And I feel like those people, they're, first of all, wasting their energy because if they actually knew me for who I am, they wouldn't have anything to hate me for, significantly at least. There's some things that you could hate me for, like I've had a lot of militant opinions, and having a militant opinion makes people ugly. Like when you see Westboro Baptist Church and they're like, God hates, those people, like people who masturbate or something. I don't know. You go, wow, those people are total douchebags, and I go, I've made a lot of militant vegetarian videos in the past. I've made a lot of, don't hurt your baby videos, don't cut your baby videos. And a lot of people, they like me, take the extremist stance, except polar opposite. And, we don't have to be polar opposites. It doesn't have to be, this war between us. It can be us just chilling out and being cool with each other, but whatever. And I named this a civil debate because there's some people that want to have a civil debate with me, but I didn't ask for them to enter my life. I don't want anything to do with them. So instead of, giving them what they want, these danger strangers who I don't want to associate with, I've decided to just give you guys, this opportunity to clear anything up that you need to be cleared up or whatever, because you think it's something that's important, I guess, because you want to like me or you want to hate me. I don't know. I don't know what the objective is. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. Okay, 112 new comments. Thanks for saying that. Let's go ahead and prove that I'm actually responding to these comments. Do you believe trees have feelings? Sure, why not? Fuck you. Thanks for that. Someone said fuck you. I look like a prison comment. Thanks. Greg, give me your semen. No. How tall are you? I'm 5'11". What kind of dog do you have? I have a Dachshund and a Dalmatian Terrier mix. How on earth do you deal with people who have nothing better to do than stalk you? I don't know, man. It's pretty rough. You just got to do it. Dude, you're awesome. Thank you. Are you satisfied with the amount of views, subs you have? Yes, I am. It's very cool that I have as much as I do. You guys should realize, see, like, okay, hopefully that's, evidence that I am. I don't want to keep doing this, go, oh, I'm responding to everything, proving that I'm responding to everything. It's just, I'll probably keep doing it though, just to take your guys', fire away. Oh, Onision doesn't want anyone to not agree with him. He just wants, to censor people, and if you disagree with him, he'll never talk to you again. Like, these are irrational feelings, these are irrational ideas, because you're trying to make me this extreme image of everything that you don't like about life. And it's like, that's just not logical. It's not logical because that's not how people really are. Does this sound good? Okay, I sound pretty good. All right. I mean, I sound, kind of like a computer nerd or something, but the sound quality is good. But no, like we as human beings like pushing people to the extremes. So we feel like, we are the extreme right and they are the extreme wrong. This is how wars get started, is like we like to demonize each other because it makes us feel better about who we are. But in reality, there's so much gray to everyone. We are a variety of colors as far as our personalities go. And we don't give each other a lot of us don't give each other the opportunity to be human. We just, say, oh, they believe abortion is wrong. They hate women. They don't hate women. They just, love babies even when they're not even born yet. They love them from the creation of them. That doesn't make them evil. It makes it, unfair to a lot of women who have special situations, but it doesn't make them evil. Just vice versa. Like, the people who are pro-choice. It's not that they like killing babies. It's not that they hate babies. It's that they want women to have that choice. There's just there's so many extreme opinions in this world. And I think it's because people have unhappy lives that they have these extreme opinions. And so And so I feel like that's how people view me, as having these extreme opinions. And a lot of times I'm either exaggerating my emotions, or I'm trolling, or I'm trying to convey something, and people just take it way wrong, it makes me laugh a lot of the time. But sometimes it's like, you're really wasting your time and energy on all this hate. There's no good reason to invest so much of your energy into this negativity. Because like when I don't like somebody, I just there's a few YouTubers I just avoid like the plague. And the reason I avoid them is because I don't get along with them, and it's not going to make my life better to pay attention to them. So like I normally just block people and move on with my life. And I wish everybody would do that, but some people like to obsess, and I don't know if it's because they had a bad childhood, or because they got dumped three too many times in a bad way, or I don't know. But they do it, and they don't seem to have any problem with obsessing over that and making their life worse, versus actually trying to pursue happiness and leave other people alone. So I don't know. Anyway, someone says nice hair. Thanks. I didn't do it myself. The bed did it for me. What are your views on cutting? I've been asked this question so many times. My question is, why do so many people cut? Like, why? You should do a live on live stream. It's a lot better. I would do a live on live stream, but I feel like that's betraying you two. Like, what's the point? Did Brett Keane ask you to have sex yet? Just because somebody asks or defends me doesn't mean they want to have sex with me. My opinion to Brett Keane is he likes conflict. He likes to stand up for what he thinks is right, and whenever I see his videos, he's standing up for me because one, he's in the right. He knows what he's talking about, and two, or at least a lot of time he does. And two, I mean it gets attention. A lot of people give a crap when you start talking about this drama that's going on online. I don't personally want this drama to be such a big issue. I want it to be a thing of the past, but people just keep bringing up the past, so it just has to keep living and living. Anyway, what my opinion of cutting is that people shouldn't do it. Obviously, I think it's quite frankly stupid. And a lot of people go, "Oh, you insulted cutters. I'm unsubscribing." Go ahead, please unsubscribe. Do it. If you are the type of person who will unsubscribe from someone for one opinion that they have, please unsubscribe. I don't need you around. It is stupid though, in my opinion. Is a stalker the first person who has gone so far, as in contacting your in-laws, constantly making videos about you, etc.? Not exactly. There's a lot. I've had a lot. I was talking to my mom about this, and she's like, this is just something you have to accept about life. When you're in the public eye. A lot of people protest the idea of me being a celebrity, even though I've been on multiple national television networks, been seen by millions all around the world. Not a celebrity though. That's what, that's what people say, and I think it's because this is more of the extreme opinions. Like, just because I'm not Johnny Depp doesn't mean I'm not known around the world, because I am known around the world. Just because I'm not on Fox News every day doesn't mean I'm not known around the world or whatever. Because I am. I have hundreds of millions of views. I've been on multiple television networks or whatever, and it's not like I'm sitting here going I'm better than anybody because of that. I don't feel better than anybody because of that. It's just that that's a fact. That's just how it is. And with that comes a lot of drama from people, especially when you have opinions. So it's whatever. Let's go ahead and see more comments. Explain the meaning behind your tattoos? Question mark. Remember love is something that only a serial killer would put on the wrist. A sociopath like me. I did it. It's actually, it's when I look down at it, like so. To remember love. Essentially, it was, to remind me of that I'm dedicated and loving towards one person, and that I don't know. It has a lot of obvious meanings. Remember love, like remember there's good in the world. It's kind of a depression thing and a human tendency thing. Like we tend to go downhill. We need sometimes to be picked up. Then I have tattoos on my ankle, or a tattoo on my ankle and a tattoo on my hip, and those are both dedicated to Lainey. So that's that. How do you feel about the possible naming of the doctor? I don't even know what that means. If you hate criticism, all the drama, why do you make it so public? And why do you share it since it's so private? Well, initially I shared it because I wanted to connect with my audience, and then people started making it dramatic, and my life became dramatic because I didn't know how to handle the drama at first. So I kind of went downhill with the drama, and after a while, I decided not to share anything with anyone. And the drama continued despite me not sharing anything with anyone. And so then I was forced to defend myself again and again and again. And I say forced because, you get harassed so much, you can only take so much before you say, hey, this is wrong. I don't agree with what you guys are doing at all. So what it really is, initially I was making my private life public. And now it's more so people making my private life public without my consent. And so it's kind of like a beast that you can't escape. Like once you're in forever. So that's why this drama continues. Okay. How often do you see your family? How close are you to them? Who is your favorite family member? I think I'll just not answer that. Like that's a weird question. Like why would you want to know that? I see my family all the time, but that's as far as I'm going to discuss that. Um, what's the name of your rap song, your videos? What? Oh, we on the streets like what? That's not my rap song. That's Mike G. He's a royalty-free music producer. Dun, 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 dun. I think you misunderstood person, and I will support you because that's unfair. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you guys that I am responding to all the comments once again, still. See, that's what I just responded to. What do you think about alcohol abstinence? What's wrong with not drinking alcohol? That's great. Good for you. What's your opinion on bigger built people? Built? Like you were born that way? I mean, if you can't control it, like, why would anyone judge you for it? What do you think about the YouTuber? A random advertisement. I don't even know who that is. What's your view on Christians who discriminate Satanists? Satanists are funny. Oh, here's a fun one. I'll respond to that in a minute. Satanists are funny because, they're basically worshiping the same God. Like if you're a Satanist, you're trying to be I think if you don't like Christians, you should be an atheist. You shouldn't be, you know, the same religion as them. You guys both support the same story pretty much. You both are like with this whole God concept and heaven and hell concept. It's stupid. It doesn't If I didn't like God, I wouldn't even be religious. And I don't think Satan cares because, the reason he went to hell in the first place or whatever, or the reason he wound up out of heaven is because he hated humans, right? He was jealous of humans, that God favored humans over him, and that's why he had a problem, because he was vain and stuff. So I don't think he would be very, be a Satanist and worship him all you want. He probably thinks you're pathetic. Like that's what I think about Satanists. But anyway, why do you disable ratings and make comments pending for approval whenever drama gets crazy? It's because a lot of times I don't want to promote haters, because people post the haters' YouTube channels and then they thumbs up them. And I'm like, I don't want this flame war to continue. So why would I promote them? And, a lot of times with criticism, like nobody likes criticism. They don't like being told they're an asshole. They don't like being told they're a loser or whatever. And it's like, if you have the opportunity to show these people that you don't give a crap about their opinion, you don't want to hear their opinion, why not? Like, like that doesn't make sense. And you say take away freedom of speech. This isn't the public streets of New York. This isn't America. This is a website. A website that is a privilege to use, not something that's something that comes with the Constitution or anything. So it's not like freedom of speech applies everywhere. It's like this. On on my website onision.com. If I don't have a comments option on there, am I stripping you guys of your freedom of speech for not enabling comments on my site? Probably not, because it's my site, right? How is YouTube any different? YouTube is a private company. They're not owned by the government. So why are we obligated to enable comments on our videos if we don't want them to be enabled? Like, why are we obligated to do that? That doesn't make sense. I think we should have the freedom to control our own content and what is said beneath it and so forth. Like if we want to disable it, that's all right. You know, I'm not gonna complain because somebody filters their comments on another channel. Why would you complain about them being filtered on my channel? It doesn't make sense. Like, get over it. It's not about, first of all, the expectation that we should love criticism is ridiculous because nobody likes criticism. Nobody likes, well, the criticism that YouTubers deliver, because this is something that a lot of YouTubers do. They go, you are such a fucking loser. I hate you. Why don't you get a fucking real job and get off the internet? And then you don't approve that comment and they go, oh, you can't take criticism. It's like, that wasn't, it certainly wasn't constructive criticism. It didn't contribute really. It just tore someone down, It's not about cowardice. Like, obviously, if I was a coward, I would never, ever talk about this. I would never show you guys comments on this thing and say, this is what I'm responding to or anything, this is about fucking just being happy and, not having to put up with people's bullshit if you didn't have to. Like, you go to school and people are like, you're a freaking loser. I hate you, douchebag. If you could block their comments towards you, wouldn't you? Like, what? I'm just criticizing. You can't handle criticism? It's like, nobody wants criticism, douche. Like, do you not realize that? Nobody wants criticism. Like, I don't know a single person who goes, yeah, give me more hate, except for CM Punk. CM Punk doesn't mind it. But I personally, there's a time and place for it, and sometimes that's not appreciated. And I don't want to promote hater channels. And if you don't like that, then who fucking cares? Like, like, it's not your channel. If you don't like it, go on your own channel and be all, oh, I support freedom of speech. Look at me, I have comments enabled, blah blah blah, and feel good about yourself because of that. Fine, do that. That's your choice. And I'm not going to your channel and going, why do you enable comments? What, you think you're better than everyone else because you can take criticism? Like, it's amazing how you can warp things, no matter your position, to make yourself feel better. That's what so many people do. That's a huge problem with humanity, is we warp things to make ourselves feel better about our situation, even though the manipulation that we invest in our status isn't honest. It's just whatever. Anyway, but yeah, this person asking if I can handle the criticism. I mean, if I couldn't handle the criticism in general, would I still be on the internet? If I couldn't handle this, wouldn't I be like all those people who delete their channel and cease to exist, delete all their Tumblr and their Facebook and everything? I've chosen to remain. So call it what you will. Would you have sex with a guy? No, I probably wouldn't. Here's the thing. Lesbianism, I think, is a lot more gray than homosexuality. And the reason I feel this way is because most every girl I've met is like, I would sleep with a girl. Like, they don't have a problem with that. Whereas when I talk to guys are like, no! It's so extreme. There's lesbians or bisexual girls or whatever you want to call them, who are like, sure, whatever, I already changed with the girls and I already shower with them or whatever, or I do whatever, and I'm cool with that, so why not have sex or why not kiss them or whatever? And guys are like, oh, get away, gay guy, ah! Maybe it's a societal thing, I don't know, but this is just my opinion, and it's not terrible that I have that opinion that may have just offended a lot of people. Like, if it offends you, well, why bother? Just get over it, So basically everything you do online is a lie. Oh, it's that guy. What are you talking about? When did I say that? Are you talking about my acting and stuff? I would say most of it is pretty honest, but I don't know. I kind of make it obvious whenever I'm not telling the truth, like that Batman thing I did yesterday. I said at the end, I said, I'm Batman. It's like, it's obvious I'm not telling the truth. It's just a lot of the stuff I've done is a joke, but a lot of it isn't. It's kind of like, you just gotta appreciate me for, if you want to appreciate me, you gotta appreciate me for what I'm doing, which is, I guess entertaining some people, and not so much for me being a regular guy. Like you shouldn't look at me as a Jerry Springer show, unless of course you view Jerry Springer as fabricated or whatever. But even then, I don't know. It just depends. Like there's this video where I'm walking around with a camera on my head, and I walk in on the shower on my ex, and she censored out and everything, but people thought that was real, that was fake, and me going through a drive-through where I'm talking to the Taco Bell, and I mean, the voice is obviously me on the other side. Like that was fake. There's a lot of fake stuff out there, and that's just for entertainment. It's not, whatever. So let's go ahead and see the most recent comments. Gay marriage. Obviously, I support it. Is that not obvious? Well, I mean, I don't need to support it because it's not really my business, but whatever. I think he thinks plastic surgery destroys humans' natural beauty. That's You're right. It does destroy their. I mean, isn't that the definition of plastic surgery? Someone says it's your channel for a reason. Yeah, it is. Thank you for also saying that. Squeeze. Someone wants me to squeeze their boobies. Boob squeeze. Boob squeeze. Boob squeeze. There you go. Okay. I'm going to copy and paste this and keep posting because I want to know, why do you need to prove haters wrong? They don't matter, right? Haters are people, and they're people who can affect your viewers in the sense that annoy them. And when I deal with haters, I got to think about the people who care about me and the people who support me. And I get complaints from people that I care about saying, "Hey, your haters they found me and they're harassing me," And it's like, well, I don't know. Maybe I think the most productive thing in hindsight is to just completely and utterly ignore them and not even acknowledge their existence. But at the same time, is not responding to them, respecting them as human beings, and saying, hey, I realize that you're a person on the other side of that computer, and let's talk like civil people rather than being irrational and attacking each other. But at the same time, they're not giving you the respect in the beginning, so why should you respect them mutually? So I mean, it is probably best to just ignore. I mean, I'm not saying that the way I've acted in the past is mature or responsible or anything really. I'm just saying, there are better ways to handle this, and I could have done things a lot better in the past. What do you think of my comment on Jesusville? I didn't see your comment on Jesusville. Why don't you just post the comment again and again until I see it? Needs to use caps, but get serious question. Did you ever agreed on something a hater said? Like if they say you are too offensive about a religion or something? Yeah, of course. Like, there is this video, and I'm going to admit this, and it's not a proud moment for me to admit it, but there was a video where I said, if you drink, you are accepting the responsibility of everything that's going to happen. I regret saying that the way I did because I didn't mean it the way I said it, but that's the problem with the old speak style is that when I'm editing, there's really not a lot of editing or whatever. As far as I remember, that was a solid video where there's no editing, and I was very opposed to having any jump cuts or anything. But I said, to me, looking back, that was messed up for me to say the way I did. But I still say, like, my stance on that is, if you drink, you are expecting or accepting a lot of responsibility for what may happen when you're intoxicated. And I fully support that. But at the same time, it's still, and I needed to make this clear in that video, it still is not your fault if someone else does something to you. It's only your fault if you do something. And that was so key to that whole video. I didn't actually watch the whole video. I might have said something like that towards the end, but I don't remember me saying anything like that towards the end. But that was so key to conveying the right points. I screwed up royally, and I was like, oh my God, this is the haters that are mad at me about, this specific thing. They're not necessarily 100% wrong. I should have been more clear about what my stance is. And again, if you don't think that you're accepting responsibility for some of the bad things that happen by your own hands when you get drunk, that to me is illogical. But if you are accepting that, but don't accept the idea that if somebody, attacks you, violates you, well, actually, if they attack you, like physically fight, it's probably because you aggravated them because you're a drunk, or they're drunk or whatever. But just in general, if somebody does something to you, it's definitely not 100% your fault. And it's most likely not your fault, especially when it comes to sexual violations. There's nothing that can make that your fault. Like sexually violating someone is a very conscious decision. I would assume. I don't know for sure, but it just seems like it's something you have to really dedicate yourself to. It's not like a crime of passion or anything. So anyway, so I have agreed with haters sometimes. Some people like constructive criticism. Yes, that's true. Some people do. Someone says, what's my view of plastic surgery? My view of plastic surgery is that you should only get it if it's to repair something that was damaged. If it's that, and there are some people that are born horribly disfigured. and I feel like they should be able to repair it. You know, like some people who are born with gigantic noses. If I was born with a gigantic nose, I would get plastic surgery like ASAP. I'm not gonna live my entire life with like a 4-inch beak, you know. So I agree with plastic surgery in many cases, but boob implants absolutely not, because that's a delusion. Women don't realize that, you know, a huge percentage of the population doesn't care about breast size. Just a total delusion that women do that. Anyway, um, Greg, your hair. Thank you. Or I guess I don't know. The way you act looking at pictures of people that are overweight makes you look like you're looking down on them almost in disgust. You just awkwardly say, "Well, look, well, they look happy." It really makes it look negative. That's because I view obesity as something that's not good. Like, am I supposed to view it as good? Like, why would anyone view, you know, having an increased risk of dying prematurely good? You know, why would someone view lacking the ability to control what you eat as good? I don't understand that, you know. And it's a common opinion, you know. This is what's weird is if you type in sexy to Google, Google shows the images that are most relevant, and it seems the results seem racist, but also discriminative towards fat people. Like sexy seems to be just blonde white women, according to Google. And I think this is stupid because I think black women can be very very gorgeous. I think Asian women can be very very gorgeous. I think all races can be very very gorgeous. And I even think many body types can be gorgeous, even heavier women. You know, they can be very gorgeous, but you know, there's a societal standard that this is what's ideal. But as far as fat people, I think that what your idea of obesity and what my idea of obesity is different. I think that you have to be able to be fat. To me, you have to be standing up and have rolls. You know, like if you're sitting down and you have rolls, you're supposed to have rolls. But if you're standing up and you have rolls, then you're probably fat. You know, and it's probably not a glandular problem. It's probably your dietary decisions. You know, and that's I don't know how I could be ashamed of that. You know, and my bro channel, when I look at pictures of fat people and all that, don't take anything serious on the bro channel. It's a comedy channel. You know, I'm just joking around, so it's gonna be okay. Don't like really don't take anything serious on that channel. You probably shouldn't take anything on serious on any of my channels, but whatever. Okay, so we have are you a unicorn, banana, and Batman? I don't remember saying that I was ever a unicorn. Whatever. I'm going to, okay, that's still the same person. Let's see the new ones. Cause someone's asking for advice on not being jealous. Um, if you don't want to be so jealous, then you should talk to your partner about what they're doing and get to know them better. You know, you shouldn't leave that room because jealousy really is a lack of communication. It's not fully understanding your partner and what's going through their mind. So get to know them better, and you won't feel so jealous. You know, understand their process. Okay. If haters attack you for the same reasons, what's the point in responding to them over and over? They don't care. That's not true. I've actually gotten quite a few people who have been sent here by haters going, well, I say quite a few, but there's not that many. I haven't noticed that many, but maybe there's more than I think. But the point is, you know, one person matters, two people matter, three people matter, four people matter. So if I convince those few people that, you know, their stance against me is irrational because I'm just a regular person, then, you know, that's one, or those, I'm saving those people time and energy that they would have invested in hating me to go do something else, you know, get bored of me. That's fun. You know, I'm just, you know, putting myself out there. So if anybody has a question of my morality, has a question of how I do things in my life, they can just, you know, the information is there. It's not necessarily going to be, you know, the viral video exposing the biggest douchebag on YouTube or anything like that. It's not going to be like, you know, saying, look at me, this is the truth, everybody's going to see it. It's not how it is. It's not how the truth works. You know, this is just me clearing it up for the people who are willing to listen, and those are the people who actually matter. You know, when it comes to this situation, the people who aren't willing to listen, they're obviously dishonest, in the sense that, you know, they're attacking somebody based on nothing. And I know you could say the same thing about me, you know, responding to haters. But here's the thing: I don't want to know about haters because I don't feel like they have a position in my life that's desirable. You know, I didn't ask for them to come into my life. And you know, how do you handle people that come into your life uninvited? probably with the same response that I have. Get out. You tell them to leave, and you're like, and whatever they have to say about you, you don't want to hear it because they weren't invited. They're not welcome. So for anyone to expect me to do anything different, I mean, you're not thinking. I don't think you're thinking in a real world context, which is, some people in your life, you have them in your life because they are welcome, and other people you want nothing to do with because you didn't ask for them to be in your life. So whatever. Someone says, "What is my IQ?" I don't know. I took a bunch of bogus tests, and one said like 126, one said 143, and the other said 134. So I don't know. Whatever. My mom wants implants. I don't know how to stop her from doing it. Well, she's probably going through that midlife crisis or something, dude. Not much you can do about it. Like, really. Do haters make you feel like YouTube is a chore? No. Would you ever leave because it's too stressful? No. Well, you guys should realize, my story, the background of my story is I had a gun to my head, and I was thinking, I need to dedicate myself to something. And when you dedicate like yourself to something, when you have a gun to your head, like, it's my own gun, but it was loaded and it was ready to go. When you do that, you really dedicate yourself. Most people fear death more than anything, right? So when I'm looking at death or this, there's nothing that can shake me necessarily. I mean, there's things that could shake me, but there's nothing that could really, I think I'm exaggerating. There are so many things that could conflict with my expectations in the future and so forth. But I'm just saying that thus far, no, I don't see why I would abandon my subscribers for any of these reasons. Anyway, thank you for answering my question. I almost cried. Okay. But I want to ask you why you wouldn't show the full email. The reason I wouldn't show the full email is because I was already, halfway through recording the video. That's like, when I said it in the last video, the actual response email was only, it wasn't really adding much to it. It was saying, like, this person saying that someone else wrote your family members, right? And you're like, but wait, aren't you heavily associated with this person? Haven't you been working with this person against me? So how does that make a big difference? And I'm like, I'm not going to redo this whole video just because they said, and I'm supposed to trust them that this is actually true, which I didn't see happening, that, they didn't actually write the email. And it didn't matter because, and they said it in the prior email. I don't know what new information was there. I just didn't pay that much attention to it. But they wrote my in-laws through Facebook. And so I ask you, how is that so much different than writing their home address when it's still contacting your in-laws and still trying to demonize you and still trying to break up your marriage? Like, that was their objective. They're trying to hurt my relationship and, of course, get attention and subscribers and whatever, leech off the Onision name. But like, how is that relevant is my question. Like, my response to them was almost literally the same to their second email. I responded to their second email and I said, again, leave me alone. You creep. You stalker freak. Stop. Like, I don't care what you have to say. And people will say, oh, you didn't include the second email. That must mean everything's just a lie. No. If you look at the second email, there's really not much said. It's just like this, oh, this other YouTuber did this. I mean, I'm going based off memory because I really don't care that much, but they're saying, oh, so and so did this and I'm not responsible. They're actually this, and I'm like, oh, I'm thinking, dude, you just wrote me a sadistic email saying you're going to release my personal information, all this, to a hate site. I don't see how someone could perceive that person as in the right whatsoever, and yet so many people perceive them as in the right, and it just doesn't make sense to me because it's like they're invading another person's life. And that's cool. Like, what if somebody was doing this to you? Like, they're saying a bunch of things that are based on perception, not on reality. Because I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my life and I'm saying, I haven't done anything really wrong. I've made mistakes, but I haven't like been malicious or anything like that. I haven't done anything beyond defending myself and telling the truth. So what could, and people wonder why I don't watch the videos, is because what could they possibly say that would change my mind about me? Like, I know what I've done. I know where I've been. I've known how I felt. And I know that my intentions are always honest and true. So, I mean, unless I'm trolling you guys or unless I'm acting, But like, in which maybe they're paying attention to the trolling and the acting, in which case they're completely delusional that they think that's real. But like, no, it's just like when you know who you are, why would you bother watching an exhaustingly long video about, how garbage you are? And I don't know why anyone wastes their time. Like if I saw someone making an extensive video about Shane Dawson, about what a garbage they think he is, or Sear, or anybody on YouTube, I would go, wow, this person's a loser. It doesn't. I could, Adolf Hitler could have a video, or have a channel, and I don't feel like making a 14-minute video about him. Maybe a 7-minute video, maybe a 6-minute video. But I'm certainly not going to make multiple videos about him or anything like that. I'll probably, if Adolf Hitler had a channel, I would write my congressman or write YouTube or something about, this person's killing people. Obviously, this something needs to happen, but I think that if you're making video after video, all you really want is attention. You just want people to pay attention to you, because that's how some people make a living. They just want people to feed off this hate. Like I made a troll. I put it on a troll channel. This Jenna Marbles video. I made a trolling Jenna Marbles video, and I put it on a troll channel. But everybody took that serious. And that was to test to see how hate works. And it doesn't necessarily work that well, but people still do it. So I don't know. It's all very interesting, but I think people's biggest mistake is looking at what I say and assuming everything is a carbon copy of my actual life. Some things are said to be interpreted a certain way, and some things are just done to entertain. So if you want to think one thing of me, go ahead. It's just you're probably wrong if it's a negative thing. Because I mean, like, I don't know. Look at me now. I'm just being so boring. There's nothing there's no conspiracy, there's no cult, there's no insane end game plan or anything like that. Just a guy. What's your opinion on underage drinking? I think that drinking in general is stupid. So obviously underage drinking is lame too. Greg, have you thought about calling the police on the stalker? I've called the police I called the police about my ex-wife when she took all the stuff from my house, or took more than 50% of the stuff from my house. And it's always hilarious to see that your initial idea to get a prenup before you got married, and they cried in response, was a good idea, and that you should have done it when you find your house gutted. But I called the police because I felt I was violated. I felt it was a crime, and the police didn't do anything about it because it was the common law. That's what she gets for crying when I asked for a prenup. It's common law. So that property was hers. So it was funny too, because they said, my ex-sister-in-law called me up, and she's like, "Hey, I need the key." I'm like, "Okay, it's right here." And then they called me up again. "Hey, I can't find the key," and she's acting like it's just her and my ex-wife. It was actually her, my ex-wife, and a moving truck, and my ex-wife's mom and my ex-wife's boyfriend. So stupid. I shouldn't have given them the key, but because you can't break in or anything. I don't think you can. But I did because I trusted them, and that's my biggest mistake in life, is being gullible. So live and learn. I don't know. It kind of makes you a very jaded person when so many people rely on your trust, and then they just ruin it. Have you ever smoked weed? No, I don't want to either. I sat in a room with a bunch of guys smoking weed, and that was an interesting experience. It was pretty stupid. I just watched them get high, and I was like, what is the point? I'm seeing these guys being completely stupid, and I don't understand why that's a good thing. Some of your viewers believed you were Batman. How do you feel about that? I don't think they legitimately believed I was Batman. That's silly. If they believed I was Batman, I don't know. That would be the lower demographic of my audience, like the younger demographic. I showed you guys this in another video. Over 50% of my audience is exceeding 18 plus, like they're 18 or older. So I don't know. I would assume that the 44% or whatever that's under 18. Actually, I would say that it would have to be a 13 or 14-year-old that would think that. If you thought that I was actually Batman, yeah, you have to be pretty young. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a few more questions. I'm not seeing, like, if you guys look through the comments, copy and paste the really aggressive comments, because I'm not seeing any really aggressive comments anymore. Why did you wait 5 months to respond to the letter that was to her parents? It was I waited, so I don't know. When did they? I can't really ask that. When did they? I don't remember it being 5 months because I only heard about it a couple months prior. And the reason I didn't respond to it is because I was hoping it would all go away. But I was doing the allegedly civil thing. The trying to think of it. The being the bigger person thing and not taking part of it. But then I just kept getting spammed and spammed and spammed by these haters' videos. And I'm like, you know what? This is an injustice. And I made this video about being your own best friend and how you shouldn't let your best friend down, being your own best friend or whatever, or being your own good friend. And that you should stand up for yourself because otherwise you're betraying yourself. And I was just thinking about my own words. And I was like, I really do. I appreciate myself and I know I'm not a bad person and that I'm doing things the honest way. And that a lot of people are just completely misunderstanding the way I live my life and so forth. So why don't I clarify what's going on? And they legitimately did tell me it was that person, my in-laws. They said it was the same person who wrote us on Facebook, and I'm like, well, the person who wrote you on Facebook is that creepy stalker guy who's been making excessive videos about me. So I naturally said, okay, well, they said that it was the same guy. That's enough. I'll trust my in-laws. But no, the clarification later, once that creepy stalker guy said, "Oh, it wasn't me," we inquired about it again, and they said, "Well, it looked like it was them," and that's what we thought. So apparently it was this other stalker creep, and who this initial stalker creep has been working with. They've been associating with each other. They said, like in the second email, he said, "Well, actually, it's this stalker guy." That this other guy that's posting the marriage certificate to the site or whatever. And it's like, so you wrote me saying that you were doing it and now they're doing it? At least that's how I remember it happening. I really don't care enough to go back. But no, but like it's like there's this obvious association between the two and that they're obviously communicating. So it's like, to me, how does that make one any less than another? That's like two guys robbing a bank to get together and one guy shoots somebody and he's like, well, I'm just here robbing the bank. I didn't shoot anybody. And it's like, dude, you are an accomplice. Do you understand what an accomplice is? So like that second email only establishes what an accomplice he is. I don't know. People view the world differently and they view crime differently. They view, stalking differently. Some people say it's not stalking. Okay, that's your opinion. You have somebody do to you what has been done to me. And you describe it in your own way. Harassment, bullying, however you want to describe it. It's definitely not, being loving, being helpful, and so forth. Trying to destroy your marriage, really, not very helpful. All right. And if somebody really cared, about the well-being of your family, the well-being of your significant others, once it was very clear that your significant other and your family was very disgusted by you being involved in their life, they would discontinue. They would stop talking about that person because they would realize that really what they're doing is they're just hurting the in-laws and the wife and so forth. But it's very clear that that person doesn't really care. That all they care about is the attention. That all they care about is their obsession with that person. They're not the good Samaritan that they painted themselves to be. Because if they were the good Samaritan that they painted themselves to be, and if they care so much about that person's significant other and their family, they would just leave them alone once they found out, wouldn't they? I mean, how is that argument at all invalid? If you start a campaign against somebody to save, that person's family and their loved ones from them, and the loved ones say, the only person who's really upsetting us is you. random person who inserted themselves into our life. You are the bad guy. You are the person who is invading us, who is making us uncomfortable, who is stalking us, who is being a creep. You know, just that alone, you think would make it obvious that that person should step back. You know, but that's not their objective. You know, they are very aware that they are making my wife unhappy. They are making my in-laws unhappy, which they originally demonized, stating that that was me doing it. That was me making my wife unhappy. That was me making my in-laws unhappy. How ironic is that? Now they are the person that they demonized in the first place, and yet they persist. So it's interesting. It's very interesting that they continue, because it's the most ironic and I don't know, hilarious stance, I suppose, because it's so self-defeating. Anyways, people keep telling me to tell the full story of one of my exes, but can we just like leave that? You know, in the last video, someone mentioned a baby dying, and that's just, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I really don't. I think that should be the past. You know, I've already established there's a lot of dysfunction in that whole thing. And, you know, I could say it's all her. She's the dysfunction. And I have said that. But, or almost all her. I could have responded to a lot of things better, you know, but whatever. It's just, I think I've said everything already. If you look back in my previous videos, I've said everything I need to say. And why do I need to talk about a relationship that's more than a year dead? You know, like I haven't been in any of my former like all my former relationships are pre-February 2013. So why are we talking about them anymore? You know, I've literally said everything. You know, I've said most everything I could about these people, and the truth. I've said like the absolute truth about these people, and you know, like people are like, you're lying. Okay, you know, can we just move on? You think I'm lying? Okay, what am I supposed to do? You know, continue to post screenshots of emails from these people going, hey, we've been broken up for a while now, but let's be friends. Here's my phone number. Let's meet up. You know, do I need to keep posting those screenshots to prove that, you know, these people who demonize me are wrong, that I'm actually a pretty decent guy? Or you could just ask my wife, hey, how is Greg? And she's going to respond to you every time. Greg's freaking cool. Just like I would respond to you asking me about her. She's awesome. You know? I don't know. I mean, a person could ask the people involved, or they could ask a total stranger, and that's the logic of a lot of people. They go and ask strangers, people who don't know really about these individuals. You know, it's interesting. What do you guys do for a date night, and how did you propose? I proposed really casually. We actually got initially married, on sand. We stood in a hollowed out river, and you know, we had our own little ceremony. But then we had another ceremony with this weird Jewish guy. He sounded like a Jewish guy, but he was like in a Catholic outfit, you know, like a father or whatever. It was very happy, very sunny that day when we got married or whatever. But I just proposed to her very casually. I think that proposal is being a big deal, like going in front of a football stadium and asking someone to propose. The relationship isn't about all those people in that stadium. They don't matter. What are you trying to prove to anybody? You know, some people propose in YouTube videos and so forth. The relationship isn't about all your viewers. It's about the two of you. So why would you bother with including everyone in the world? Screw it. You know, big weddings are a joke to me. Like these people that barely know you getting involved. No. All right. So this feed is going to randomly terminate in very shortly, but it's actually going to continue in a sense when the final version is rendered and online. So just stay tuned for that. I mean, check later on today if you want to see the final feed, the last so many seconds of the feed. I'm going to take a couple more questions though. Please answer, Greg. How do you handle making a YouTube video every other day? You put a I was gonna say, you put a gun to your head and you dedicate yourself to something. I don't know. You just have to have the right motivation. That's all. Someone says, what's my problem with alcohol? I don't know. Look up crime statistics in association with alcohol and answer your own question. Is it really a mystery? My problem with alcohol is that it's destructive. It destroys so many people's lives, a ridiculous amount of people's lives. You know, how many people have been beaten? How many children have been abused because someone was intoxicated? They're responsible for their own actions because they decided to, drink before, get drunk or whatever, knowing that there's a lot of risks involved. But it's like I said before, what happens to you while you're drunk isn't going to be entirely your fault, if at all your fault. But what you physically do yourself to other people, that's a responsibility you accepted before you got intoxicated. I see so many things bad happening with alcohol, and I don't see people having that much fun with alcohol. Like, it's really not fun versus family being ripped apart. I would take the family not being ripped apart. Anyway, what else we got? You're such a great person. Please, if you see this, know how great of a person you are. Lainey's lucky to have you. That was really nice of you to say. Thank you so much for saying that. Anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Boop squeeze.